Hey, welcome back to the JK Moto Entertainment channel. Welcome back once again to Stable B. We are here for another discussion topic today, I think. Another non-advice topic, another topic that I don't necessarily review things, although it's kind of a review. Very similar to last week, which last week, I said we'll see you in the next video. So if I'm seeing you again, welcome back. Thank you. That must mean that you probably clicked the subscribe button. If you haven't yet, you should. It's right down there. Go click it. Also throw a like on the video while you're down there. But anyway, today we're going to talk about my top three, bottom three? My three least favorite tracks in the United States. And once again, just to kind of recap from the last video, if this is your first time here, welcome. Appreciate you being here. But I've ridden a total of 14 racetracks across the US, which is not a ton, but it is also not a small amount. I've ridden on the East Coast, I've ridden on the West Coast. When I say the East Coast, I mean the Southeast. I haven't ridden up in the Northeast yet. I haven't ridden up in that kind of UP area. And also, I have like a pepper of tracks. I don't have every track in California I've been on. I've been on a few, 2 total in Cali. I've ridden a little bit in the Midwest, 2 states specifically, Arizona and Utah, one of which we will talk about tonight. But tonight we're gonna cover my 3 least favorite tracks. These are the tracks that I like. I don't wanna tell you not to go to, but if you have another option, I personally would recommend somewhere else. And keep in mind, one of these I know is actually a pretty popular track. A lot of people go there quite often. I don't know if they like it or not. So this is totally an opinion-based conversation today. And if you have a different opinion or you have other reasons, please let me know. Throw them down in the comments. I want to hear about them, and maybe you can open my mind to why I should like one of the tracks that I mentioned tonight. But we're going to talk about why I don't. Let's get into it. All right, so our number one worst track, it's not the bottom, third from the bottom. This is a list of 3. The top of the list is gonna be, in my opinion, the worst. This is the bottom of that list. So it's the third on the list. So it would be the third from the bottom of the worst. Anyway, you guys get it. You understand what I'm saying here. But this track is actually like, it had potential to be a great track, I think. And it was actually a decent amount of fun to ride, but it had some issues that made it not so fun. The track we're talking about today is another AMP, but this time it is Arizona Motorsports Park. It sits in the heart of Phoenix, right next to an Air Force base, which, in my opinion, is a great place for a racetrack, because what do you know it, if there's an Air Force base, there's probably F-16s and whatever other planes there are there, taking off all day. Those things are loud, so no one should be able to get too mad about motorcycles and or cars being loud. However, this track specifically gets mad about it. And mad enough that they have a decibel limit, which, okay, I understand it. There's people there, cool, got it. I don't understand it for that track, but I understand decibel limits, and yeah, we want your exhaust to be quiet. That doesn't make any sense as a race bike. It's not gonna be quiet. Just enjoy the sound. You're in your house a mile away, get over it. But I get it. But beyond that, it wasn't just that there was a decibel limit. It was the fact that like the city had these sensors out there, and because they were out there and where they were, it was in the middle of a straight where you would be pinned. Every time you do a track day, they have to go set up these cones and build a chicane in the middle of the straight, chicane. And that gets you to slow down so that when you pass the sound meter, you're not making any noise. And it's just really annoying and kind of just drives down the overall experience on the track for me. The pavement was fine. The track itself was like actually kind of pretty fun to ride, like I said, which is why it's not the top of the bottom of the list. But the overall experience there just wasn't quite worth it. The other part of it is that you pull up and there's literally a parking lot. Yep, that was about it. And I think there might be a porta potty, one, singular. There's no power, there's no fuel, there's no even like building telling you that, yes, this is a racetrack and someone works here and lives here and there's an office and there's management. Nope, there's just like a locked gate. I think the track probably just gives you the code to the 4-digit little lock on the chain on the gate, and you go and you do your track day, and there's nothing governing you at all. They just say, yeah, hey, if you make too much noise, you're gonna get shut down for the day. That sucks, you still owe us the full day of rental money. So that's why track day orgs and whatnot, they run down there, have to run that chicane thing and everything else. So overall, just not a great experience. I didn't enjoy it that much. There are other tracks in Arizona. There's another one, Podium Club, which is tons of fun, not that far away. So if you wanna go ride something fun where there isn't a noise limit, go to Podium Club. Don't go to Arizona Motorsports Park. It just ain't worth it. The next track that we're going to talk about today, and the next one on my list on the bottom, I'm going to stop making that joke. I don't know where it is, but it's on the list, and it's not the worst in my opinion. This one's going to be a little controversial, and I want to hear everyone's opinions on it, and I want to hear why I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but I want to hear about it. So we're going to talk about Roebling Road Raceway, the Triple R down around Savannah, Georgia. It is in Georgia. It's in the southeast. What do I have to say? Some ambulance went on the track during a race there. Is that enough reason for you not to want to ride there? It is for me. No, I'm just kidding. That was a whole bunch of bad communication. They have made a lot of good steps since then to make sure that doesn't happen again. But it is an infield paddock track, which I'm not a huge fan of because you do have to cross the track. And once again, keep in mind that this video, and these were not reviews, but reviews that I'm doing on these tracks real quick and dirty, is an overall picture. Like, what is your total experience going to be during the track day? It's not just about riding. To me, there's a lot more to it that goes into a track day and or a race weekend or a race. The track should be the majority of it, and that's why like Arizona Motorsports Park was actually kind of hard to put on my list, because the track was pretty fun. It was just everything else about it just made it not worth it and not a good day for me. And I can't like tell someone you got to go check it out because there's too much bad to outweigh the good. Roebling Road Raceway, for me, has a little bit of both. So the infield paddock, not a big fan. I think there's a couple spots that have power there. It's been a long time since I've been there. But the big part and the big reason I don't like it is just the track itself is kind of boring. And once again, I'm not a big fan of high-speed tracks, not a big fan of high-speed turns. I like the more technical, I like the sharp turns, I like the heavy braking, I like the heavy acceleration out of the corners. That's what I enjoy. Roebling Road is a lot of just kind of sweeping corners. And when I say a lot, I don't mean a lot because there's like 3. It felt like a race NASCAR track with a couple right turns added in, so it's not NASCAR, but it really just felt like it. Now, the day that I rode it, I didn't run the chicane. I don't know if people do run the chicane, but I was also stuck down in C group for a good portion of the day. That might have been kind of part of it. But it just, man, it just didn't really hit, you know? Like, yeah, it's a racetrack. It's there. It's cheap. It's paved well. It's a little weird because in the morning when you go to tech, you have to walk your bike because there's a quiet hour because there's houses right there next to it. But outside of that, like, yeah, it's fine. But I just don't. If you're down in the southeast or you're looking to do track days in the southeast, there are so many better options than Roebling Road Raceway, in my opinion. Don't even bother. It's not worth it. Go to Atlanta Motorsports Park, go to Road Atlanta, go to Barber, go to Carolina Motorsports Park. Even NC Bike I liked better than Roebling Road. So anyway, that's kind of my take on it. The track itself is just real boring. There isn't much elevation, and you take a right and then a left and then a right and then a left and then a long right and then you're on the straight. That's literally it. I don't know how many turns I just said there, but it felt like about 4 or 5, and you're just back on the straight. And the straight is super long. If you're riding in C group, everyone's gonna brake way too early for turn 1, maybe even in B group, but C group it's especially dumb, at least with the group I was with, because you can't pass unless you're in the straight, so that's your only option, and then everyone brakes super early, so you're like, well, should I pass them, should I not? I made some, arguably we were in the turn passes, but we were still 100 feet away from the turn, and this dude had already hit the brakes, and I was like, that's just not worth it. Anyway, that's enough about my personal experience there, but I just don't think the track is a ton of fun. It's not one that I recommend to people to go check out. If you've like knocked out every other track down here, you live down here, and you're looking for somewhere else to go, or if you've got a race upcoming there, then obviously like go get your practicing in, go check it out. I'm not gonna tell you to not do a track day just because it's at this track, but I just don't think it is the best in the US. So final track on our list of not so good tracks, or my personal least favorite. Once again, opinion-based, least favorite. I just wanna come out and say that don't take this video and be like, man, well, Easton said that this track isn't worth it. That's the only track I can afford to go to, so I'm just not gonna do track days. Now I'm gonna sell my motorcycle. I don't want you to do that. I want you to go do track days, go enjoy a motorcycle how it's supposed to be enjoyed on a closed circuit where you can really open it up and enjoy it. And Roebling Road is actually kind of a good place to do that. The next track we're gonna talk about is not a bad place to do that either, as far as opening it up and enjoying that like power. But much like Roebling Road, the track itself is quite boring and often covered in goose poop or homeless people tents or just other general trash. I haven't actually heard a ton about it anymore. I know a lot of places, I think, stopped going there because of how bad this place was. And this is maybe the one track in the United States that I would say if this is your only option, go somewhere else. It's worth it to travel, I think, an hour and a half further north and go to the Ridge. Or travel a little bit further down south, go to Thunder Hill or Sonoma. Anywhere in California compared to this place is just not worth it. If you haven't picked up on where we're talking about yet, we are talking about Portland International Raceway. It's over in Oregon, obviously, with the name Portland. It is in Portland. What do we have to say about PIR? Man, I rode there once. It was actually pretty early on in my track day career, and In fact, it was the first track I went to that wasn't the Ridge Motorsports Park, which was quite a shock. When I went, there was in fact goose poop. There were not as many homeless people as there are now, but there were quite a few. And I think the state of Oregon like has trouble keeping them off of the track, because last I heard the track is like technically public property, kind of. So they can't really kick people out or something. I don't know. It's some weird. Anyway. Not a fun area to ride in. Beyond that, it's also an infield track. Weird, the two on my list that are on the bottom are the two infield tracks that I've been to in the US. So infield paddock is what I mean by that. You have to cross over the track to get to the paddock, which that just like kind of blows, not for you as like the track day goer, but you know, if you need someone to run out to the store to get something, or you want to have a friend come in and he doesn't want to come in first thing in the morning, they're gonna have to wait till in between sessions. And then when they open the track in between sessions outside of lunchtime, which they say like, oh, we're not gonna open it until it's lunchtime, so you gotta wait, and then they open it every session anyway. It's taken out of your riding time. So that's a big reason why I don't like it that much. But outside of that, the track itself was also just relatively boring. It was a little bit better than Roebling Road in that aspect. It had a little bit more to it, but it's a long straight, a tiny bit of technical, a long semi-straight, and like, when I say a tiny bit of technical, I mean like long straight, right, left, long straight, left, left. Long straight, you're back at it. That's all it is. In fact, the straight is so long that there's actually a drag strip built into it with plenty of like ending runoff room at the end. So it's like a half mile. I think it was the first time, like the ridge felt like it had a long straight. Then I got to Roebling and I was like dang near maxing this thing out on that straight. That's how long it is and how much speed you have when you get onto it. So anyway, that's kind of PIR in a nutshell. It's trashed, it's old, it's beat up, it hasn't been taken care of. There's goose poop all over. The pavement is pavement. Parts of it are almost a little scary when you're going down the back non-straight. It's this long right-hand straight. It's like you're leaned over a little bit straight, and you are right next to a cement wall the entire way, which is like, it's okay. Just don't look at the wall, but you're kind of supposed to, but not. Like you look all the way down, but then you like glance to your right and there's a wall there, and you're doing 110, 120, 150 miles an hour with a wall right there, and you're supposed to be as close to it as you can get, because that's how you go the fastest, shorten up that racetrack. So anyway, that's PIR. So we had PIR, Roebling Road, and then Arizona Motorsports Park. Once again, like out of the other two, not PIR, if those are your only options for a track day, go do your track day. Please go enjoy it. Go do a track day. You'll have tons of fun, and you might be a little different than me. Maybe you like a big open easy track that has high speed turns, whatever, or maybe you like random cone chicanes in the middle and having quieter inserts and crazy quiet exhausts while you're taking off while you're riding next to F-16s taking off all day, wondering why you need to be quiet, but they don't have a decibel limit. Air Force, gotta love it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Those are the 3 worst tracks. Nah, not really the worst, but my 3 least favorite tracks in the US that I have ridden. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.